How's it going? Welcome back, my beautiful sinners, to another great video here on The Savior Show. Today I have something different for you, and that's because I want to give you my Harry Potter retrospective, okay? My Harry Potter analysis in 2022, and kind of like a short video essay on Harry Potter, a look back at the Harry Potter films and a retrospective of the Harry Potter movies and the books. This is quite a shameful video in some ways because for some reason it's now accepted that most people are massive nerds when it comes to do with Marvel and superhero movies. That's okay, that's not, looked down upon. Or the same thing with Star Wars, it's not exactly uncool anymore like it used to be, but Harry Potter still has a certain element of, that's for kids, which I don't think is necessarily true. In fact, Harry Potter is such a powerful story, and Harry Potter has been very important and influential in my own life. In fact, I don't like the British culture that much. I don't like being British that much. I've got to be honest. I'm not proud of my country in many ways. But one thing that I am pretty thankful for is we did birth Harry Potter. And you can say what you want about JK Rowling, but you can't deny that she had such a vision and such a crazy imagination, and she truly is a creative. You can hate her or you can like her, but I think that's pretty stupid to tie your opinions to someone's art based on who they are as a person, because art or music, for example, my music, I hope it speaks for itself. I just want to talk about the story and the impact it had personally on me. So this is more of a personal video. But yeah, like I said, I don't think it's bad to like Harry Potter even as an adult. Even though this is set in a magical world, the things that these characters have to deal with are very mundane. So in this Harry Potter analysis, I also want to dive into the philosophy of Harry Potter and Harry Potter philosophy, because I do think the philosophy of Harry Potter is actually so important as to why this is so successful, why Harry Potter is so, popular. And that's because it's kind of the same story that we've had throughout history. It's just kind of repackaged in many ways. And that's why so many people are obsessed with these stories like Marvel and, Star Wars. But Harry Potter really taps into the core being of what it is to be human. So when people say Harry Potter is just for kids, that's not true, okay? Yes, this story can be for kids, and that's when it's introduced to most people as children, and that's good. And that's why so many people have fallen in love with the Harry Potter franchise, and why it means so much to so many people, myself included, because it teaches you things about life and about yourself. So let's just begin. Harry Potter never exactly touches upon religion, but it deals with so many religious messages and, what it is to believe. God is dead. And Harry Potter never actually touches upon religion itself, but it has so many religious themes, and that's what makes this so successful, because like I said, human beings are drawn to these types of stories. These types of stories and mythology are so important and basically integral to being a part of our human condition that we've had it throughout history. And Harry Potter has so many religious messages in it, and it parallels with Christianity a lot without actually touching on a core religion, just basically what it is to have faith and believe in something greater than yourself and being noble and doing what is morally correct. Harry Potter also deals with death and rebirth, because at the end of Harry Potter, of course, he is destroyed and is brought back to life to face evil. And he has to let go of his fear and his doubt and basically give himself up to something more important than just himself. I also love the fact that in the Harry Potter movies, the first two movies are so bright and colorful and saturated, and as you get into the later movies, everything gets more grey and darker with its color palette and saturation, and that's done on purpose because he's not just looking at the wizarding world and this magical world, which is our universe, as a naive but hopeful innocent child anymore, where everything seems so magical. Now everything is more grey and bleaker. The lighting and the color palette changes with the movies because that's metaphorically what happens as you grow up. And I just think that's a small touch that many people miss. And yeah, I just appreciate it because, you get that sense when you read the books, but you can't see it so much in detail. The next thing that I want to talk about in the philosophy of Harry Potter segment is Voldemort being inside of him is kind of a metaphor of bad thoughts. Voldemort being inside of Harry and inside of his mind, being a part of Harry, is a metaphor of, having bad thoughts and the Union shadow that is within us all, the darker aspects to our minds and what we are actually capable of if we put our minds to it, seeking power and greed and, just only serving yourself like Voldemort does. Harry Potter is tempted and given the opportunity to join the dark side and to basically wield his true power because he has the potential to be a very powerful wizard. And we see that opportunity given to him so many times when Draco Malfoy meets him for the first time and offers, Harry Potter to be his friend and to join the kind of dark side. The same thing with Voldemort in the second movie, and again when he's tempted to, take out Dumbledore and kill him because Voldemort is kind of giving him those bad thoughts, or even just, turning more inwards into his own desires. For example, taking the Philosopher's Stone himself, or using his magic on the muggles that he lives with that are so horrible to him. He has so many opportunities to do something destructive with this magic that he has now and the power that he has. He also has this huge amount of fame and influence, but he never lets that get to his head. He never lets it, dictate his life and inflate his ego. In some ways you can say Harry Potter is a bit of an unrealistic character because he always, just goes towards the light and the good and being noble and virtuous and humble and brave, and is never even tempted to go towards the darker side. But that's not true, actually. In the movies it's kind of depicted that way, but in the Harry Potter books you do get a more complex view into Harry Potter's mind. What if he should have joined Slytherin, or when he uses dark magic on Draco Malfoy, or when he uses the Cruciatus Curse. So, you do get those moments where you can see him being conflicted. Harry Potter is punished for his virtues of being kind and somewhat talented, just a humble, good person who actually cares about other people and doesn't just want to benefit himself. He gets punished for this, and that's such an interesting story to watch because the people that he lives with, his kind of fake family, his aunt and uncle, they just completely disregard him. But seeing Harry Potter not turn inwards and become a more toxic and, resentful person because of this truly sends a message to the audience that even though we do get punished for our virtues now and then, you can still prevail and, be morally good. So now onto my analysis of Harry Potter. What do I think this is actually all about? Well, like I said, Harry Potter deals with so many metaphors. For example, when he goes down to face the basilisk in the second movie, The Chamber of Secrets, which is my favorite, that's basically a metaphor for fear. And it's kind of the same story as the old Greek mythology story with Medusa, and everyone is being petrified, completely frozen solid by this horrible monster that lurks underneath, and that's kind of a metaphor for your own fears that linger within your mind. And basically everyone is just petrified by their own fears and they don't want to face them. But like I said, Harry Potter deals with death and rebirth, sacrifice, and giving yourself up to something greater than just yourself. And that's what Harry Potter does. He goes down into the dungeons of Slytherin, even knowing he most likely will die. he does it anyway to save something that is pure, which is Ginny. And, you know, that's a pretty important message. And that's kind of the same, you know, mythology that we've had throughout history of, you know, heroes doing something noble and basically just trying to be the best person you can possibly be, because if everyone strives to be kind and respectful and brave and just developing themselves, then of course the world would be a much better place, because change has to start with yourself, and we live in such a difficult world full of horrors and such, you know, sadness and suffering, that the only way we can get through this is by being kinder to each other and facing your darker aspects and overcoming them. And that's basically the story of Harry Potter. And I just think that's a great story, and that's why it resonates so well with so many people, even though it's dressed up as all of this wizardy stuff and magic, which is of course so appealing because it's just, you know, like this hidden world that's on top of our own. It's not so detached like Star Wars is, or Star Trek or whatever, or Marvel, where it's happening in a completely different universe. This is happening right next to us, and that is, you know, maybe true in some regards, because we only know so little about the universe and the powers that it has. Like I said, we can only perceive around 5% of the universe. The rest is dark energy, and it's only our one human perception that we have. So who knows what's going on around us that we just can't perceive. And yeah, Harry Potter is just a story of overcoming loss, being the best that you can be, death and rebirth, and giving yourself up to virtue and being noble and facing the fears that you have and being brave even though you're facing darkness in the end. It's also, of course, about the importance of relationships and friendships and not letting exterior factors, like I said, like fame, change who you are. So yeah, that's Harry Potter and my analysis of Harry Potter and the philosophy aspect of Harry Potter. Now, on to the quick final segment, which is what Harry Potter means to me. And basically, this is just where the personal part of the video comes in. I remember the first time I experienced Harry Potter was my parents got the story on audio tape, because I've never been a good reader. I'm trying to get better at it now that I've grown up, but, you know, listening to something was just a lot more easy for me, and it was the version with Stephen Fry, who is a British kind of philosopher and just a smart guy who is reading the book, and I was just so captured by the, you know, magic of Harry Potter and the pure just joy that it would give me, because of its creativity, and the characters are just so, you know, well thought out and so three-dimensional, and they are just so fleshed out, and, you know, they are written like real people, and I could connect to it because being a British skinny young boy myself, you know, I could connect a lot with the character of Harry Potter, and it was very easy for me to project myself onto Harry Potter and, you know, his doubts and all of the stuff that he goes through, you know, especially when I was at school myself. And without realizing it, it would just become a massive comfort thing for me. And it's kind of sick and maybe a little bit crazy, but I've kind of religiously listened to the Harry Potter stories at least once every year since then, just because it calms me down and it basically humbles me and just reminds me that it's okay, no matter what I'm going through, other people are experiencing the same thing. And if, you know, someone like Harry Potter, even though it's just a story, can overcome all of these different obstacles, and if he can still be a good influence and a good person at the end of it, then it just gives me a lot of hope. Also, I just love the idea of magic being right next to us and so connected and influencing our universe without even realizing it. And like I said, it's, you know, a very British thing, and I could just connect with it. So yeah, that's just why it means so much to me. And also, when I have times where I feel lonely and stuff, or I don't feel like talking to other people because I can be very introverted, Harry Potter just gives me that company, because these characters, like I said, are so well written and they all have their own unique personalities, and it's so easy to project yourself into that world that it just kind of makes me feel less lonely and overcome obstacles in my own life and forge relationships and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, Harry Potter means a great deal to me, and that's just why I wanted to make this Harry Potter analysis video essay, I guess. Again, this video is just pretty much for me. I'm trying to make more content now that I just actually care about, as well as videos that, you know, perform well to grow my channel. So I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please do subscribe, and please support me by checking out my music on Spotify and downloading it. And if you do want me to keep making videos, please become a member, because ad revenue is not exactly enough to support this full-time as of yet. So by being a member, you would help support the channel, and you would get extra benefits for yourself, more content. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you in the next one. Have a great day. Peace out.